Moving on with our bulletin, Land First has lodged an urgent application with the Johannesburg Magistrates Court to review the banning order issued by the Metro Police. JMPD has banned BLF from marching at the offices of KPMG. The protest is a follow-up to a 28th of September march where BLF gave the auditing firm 7 days to respond to their demands. KPMG promised to respond, but it has been 2 weeks and they have not responded as yet. The demands made by BLF are firstly that all audits and investigations by KPMG should be reviewed, KPMG to immediately withdraw its report upon which the 783 charges against President Jacob Zuma were formulated, KPMG apologize for being an agent of white monopoly capital, and regime change. KPMG reveal the pressure put on it by Pravin Gordhan and other white monopoly capital. Now, BLF says that since they have not received any response from KPMG, therefore they will start a non-stop protest action against KPMG until satisfactory response has been given. Well, we are now joined on the phone line by BLF National Spokesperson Lindsay Marstorp. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us here on ANN7. Reports coming through that BLF has a banning order given by the Metro Police against this planned march. Just talk us through reasons and details given why BLF has been banned.
Good morning, Abigail. Good morning to the viewers as well. So the ban, firstly, we must understand that BLF gave KPMG sufficient time to respond to our demands, and they've not done so because of the act in the interest of white monopoly capital. They then proceeded to, via the Democratic Alliance, to give instructions to the JPMD to ensure that we are unable to continue with our legal protest, to continue to ventilate and voice our views that KPMG cannot continue to act in an anti-black capacity. So when we arrive and we go through the necessary process, giving due time and so forth, we are very surprised to find out that we are then told that we are unruly and so forth and so on, and we are unable to then participate in this march. But we also must understand the construction of this idea. The construction by white companies and white people is always that black people cannot behave, they cannot act in a ruly manner, they are just crazy, monkey-like beings that run around chaotically. So we understand that logic by white supremacy. It's a racist notion. And then we must also understand and juxtapose that versus the Democratic Alliance, who applied within a very short, less than 7 days, to be able to march illegally to the Gupta House, got the ruling and was allowed to go and do that, and even contravened the interdict that says they must do a 900 peaceful by going right up and intimidating the Gupta family. So we must understand how the Democratic Alliance plays its role politically in ensuring that white organizations and white people can be allowed to do as they want and as they will. But when it comes to black first organizations or organizations that put the black majority first and want to destroy white monopoly capital, we are then subjected to the same white process that says, no, because you are black, principally you cannot do this. So we understand this is the logic of how racism functions. We are going to court today at 12 to continue to seek to overturn that. But we must also be very clear about this. KPMG will not get away. White people will no longer get away in this country. We will take the direct action against KPMG. We will take direct action in the broader constructs of society to destroy white monopoly capital and racism in its totality. So there's no way out for these companies. They must stop running around and trying to usurp and show their white arrogance and try to suppress our voices, because our voices will be heard. The black majority will be liberated in this country.
Spokesperson, with regards to KPMG, what was BLF's agreement with KPMG with regards to response, if any?
Well, we basically gave them a particular time frame to respond to us and told them if they do not respond within this time frame, we will be returning and continuing direct action against them. Our demands, as you have listed, are very clear, very direct, they're very simple to understand, they're not complicated. There's a public understanding too that what KPMG has done is wrong. So we must understand that this doesn't come in the backdrop of some small isolated incident. It's within a society that continues to understand that KPMG is a company that perpetuates the construction, monopolization of capital for political ends, and in this case to defend the former Minister Pravin Gordhan. So we must understand the construct. And when we put it out to them and said what we want from KPMG, they have not responded in any way. They have not shown any black people due courtesy of response. But this is also normal of white arrogance, to not even respond in any form, but then to run to legal persons as well as through political entities like the Democratic Alliance to ensure that they can suppress black voices who want to ensure that companies like KPMG, which act in an anti-black capacity, are unable to exist.
Spokesperson, why is Black First, Land First of the view that KPMG is trying to protect former Minister of Finance Pravin Gordhan? What sort of facts are there to prove this?
Well, we know that the investigation would show that the monies that were stolen, looted from Treasury leads back and traces back to Pravin Gordhan. It will also show that the spy unit that was created traces back to Pravin Gordhan. We know that the suppression of these investigations is directly to show or to stop us from understanding, the black society from understanding, how Pravin Gordhan in particular is complicit in corruption within the state, as well as with ensuring that the state is controlled by, in this case, Johan Rupert. So, because we understand that, and because these reports will show these details, KPMG has been suppressed. They've hit a few of their management over the knuckles so that they can suppress. Then they've done even something further. They've spun the story to make it seem like this is about the Guptas. This has absolutely nothing to do with the Guptas. This has got nothing to do with the Guptas' relationship to the state, but it has everything to do with Treasury and how the broader unit has ensured that white people have captured the economy of this country and continue to loot for their personal gain via Pravin Gordhan.
Spokesperson, back to the issue with KPMG and this banning order. You did mention that Black First, Land First will be heading to the courts at 12 noon, if I'm not mistaken. Just talk us through the plan of action here and what you are hoping the outcome will be.
Look, we will go today and we will try and ensure that this ban is reversed and we are unbanned and permitted to go with proceed with the march, and we will show that our members firstly have a right, and BLF as an organization has a right to protest, as is the democratic right in this country, and we will try to show that and ensure that we can go into the march. But we must also, but again, I must state very clearly, as an organization, these processes are in itself anti-black. The courts are anti-black. They have no respect for black ideas or black wants for liberation. They construct themselves to maintain white power. So, for example, the violence that is perpetuated by KPMG against black people by misconstruing us and by saying that we are somehow thieves and black people are just stealing while they themselves are looting. The violence that is then construed against black people that maintains us as landers is not noted. But the supposed violence that comes from black people that continues to construct us as hooligans is then noted. This is how the courts operate themselves. And we must be able to say categorically as a movement that we will not be intimidated by these courts. We will not be intimidated by the Democratic Alliance. We will overthrow white supremacy and the constructions of our landlessness and companies like KPMG that maintain...
All right, thank you very much, spokesperson, for your time and for sharing Black First, Land First's views with us here on ANN7. That was BLF National spokesperson Lindsay Marstorp.